good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to this ceremony on WFEO 2022 WFEO Sabbagh Prize for Excellence in Engineering Constructions. And we'd like to open the sessions. First of all, like to invite the World Federation of Engineering Organization President, Professor José Vieira, to deliver a welcome speech. José, please.
Thank you very much, Seng Chuan. Distinguished winners of WFEO Sabbagh Prize Award, dear Engineer Ania Lopez, dear WFEO members, dear fellow engineers, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I am delighted to welcome you to this award ceremony. It has now become quite usual for WFEO to host such events to honor the laureates of our prizes in the form of a webinar. This was, of course, due to the pandemic situation. However, I believe that we all enjoy the opportunity to improve the exposure of our awards and the engineers that are distinguished through them, as well as the visibility of our partners and sponsors. Those webinars allow to be held at any time of the year, providing flexibility and make it possible to for representatives from our members' institutions to attend from their countries. In addition, as with most of WFEO online events, the recording remains available on WFEO's website and the YouTube channel. So, thank you all for being here, and I also encourage you to share this webinar with your own networks once it is made available. It will be within the next few days. Now, please let me express my gratitude to the sponsor of the WFEO Hassib Sabbagh Prize for Excellence in Engineering Construction, the Consolidated Contractors Company, CCC. CCC has been partnering with WFEO on this award for 20 years now, while the company being an associate member of WFEO. We value such long-term relationships as it helps ensure continuity in our projects. This award shows a special significance in the context of WFEO developing its vision of engineering as a means to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In recent years, we have updated the criteria of the prize to reflect the critical importance of sustainability in the civil engineering field. We want to show the value and the relevance of innovative materials and low carbon practices, improving buildings' energy consumption, and designing with nature-based solutions. We want also to acknowledge how construction projects can have a positive impact on the community's resilience at large. The Tuas Port Phase 1 project has been selected for the 2022 award amongst other first-class engineering construction projects, mostly because of its very significant effort to combine an ambitious technological challenge with positive environmental impact, while making a huge contribution to the economic prosperity of the country. It has developed innovative methods to reduce its carbon footprint and limit its impact on biodiversity, a major challenge when it comes to building new maritime large-scale infrastructures. In that case, it is remarkable that a successful effort has been made to safeguard the Singapore sea corals. Last but not least, this infrastructure is critical to protecting the population and local business from future sea level rises that unfortunately may occur as a result of climate change. As engineer leaders, we cannot stress enough the importance of preparing the resilient infrastructures that people most exposed to climate change effect will need. So, my sincere congratulations to our laureates, the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, and its distinguished team of engineers. I want to thank you for choosing to donate your cash prize to WFEO education projects. WFEO is grateful for this donation as its activities in the field of education has become increasingly important in recent years with the development of joint programs with the International Engineering Alliance and UNESCO to help national engineering education systems to reach highest standards and with Office for Climate Education. I want to acknowledge that in the case of MPA, your generous gesture will benefit climate change education activities in small islands developing states. Now, I will let Seng Chuan Tham, WFEO Executive Vice President, and Ania Lopez, Chair of the WFEO Awards Committee, lead this ceremony. I wish you all a nice time in our company. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, José. And now I will invite the chairwoman of the award committee to deliver a speech. Ms. Ania Lopez.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the participant of the official ceremony of Sabbagh Prize for Excellence in Engineering Construction. Thank you so much to the MPA, Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, to the WFEO Awards Committee, to the Executive Council of WFEO and the Executive Secretariat for the work and organization for these and all awards. I would like to thank to Consolidated Contractor Company, CC, for their support. In the autumn of last year, when we examined the proposal with awards committee received for the important award, we were very positively impressed by the quality of the project. Above all of the winner PAN Singapore have already reiterated of the goodness of the project. After a careful analysis of very articulate criteria, through agreed with a score, the Commission arrived at the same conclusion. Therefore, it was decided unanimously to deliver with coveted awards to the MPA. There are many reasons always highlight in our press and social media releases, but I would like to underline some fundamental aspects that make this engineering project unique. The correlation with the infrastructural work with the objective of agenda. The president of WFEO speak about first me. For example, from the goal 7, affordable and clear energy, and goal 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure, and goal 11, sustainable city and community and others. The technical ability of engineer to overcome obstacles at the service of the community make our profession indispensable for the social development of nation. This project is a concrete example. In conclusion, MPA generous decision to donate prize money to engineering education project. and the support WFEO joint climate change education for the program Small Island Development State in partnership with UNESCO and offering the climate education. This is an act of social responsibility toward a new generation, a mean of use of innovation and technology to protect the planet. Thank you so much for your attention and congratulations.
Thanks, Ania. And we'd like to invite Mr. Dori Barakat, the Vice President, Business Development and Marketing and New Venture of HJ Sabbagh CCC to deliver his speech.
Thank you, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. It's very good to be here with you all, and it's an honor. It's my first time to join one of the WFEO conferences. Of course, I'd like to extend my warm congratulations to the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore team for their engineering excellence. Of course, I'd like to thank them for their generous donation to the of their prize to the WFEO Engineering and Education projects. This really reveals their commitment to innovation and sustainability through the investment in education and their donation to education. This is really aligned with our the WFEO goals and also with CCC's goals, which always is to promote sustainability and to promote innovation. And this can only come through training, education, development, and thus the value of the donation of MPA of their prize to the education fund. I'll just like to say a few words about CCC and how CCC's values converge with what we're talking about today. CCC was founded in 1952 by Mr. Hassib Sabbagh and Mr. Samer Khouri. The company has been always a pioneer in engineering and construction, and today is one of the biggest construction companies in the world, and are present in the Middle East, Africa, the Caribbean, and the CIS countries. We provide project management, engineering, procurement, and construction services, and we encompass various sectors, which include oil and gas, upstream and downstream, heavy civil infrastructure projects, including ports and marine works, airports, railways, highways, and the like, and also high quality buildings and industrial and infrastructure networks. Throughout the evolution of our company, we have always grown sustainably, both internally and externally. Internally has always been through the training and development and investment in our human resources, which is our key resource. And we've also had sustainable investments externally towards our environment, by respecting the environment, by giving back to our community, and by investing in the development of the local economy through maximizing the local community involvement in the growth of our company. This award was instituted in 2002 and it's an initiative of the late Hassib Sabbagh, who devoted many years in the effort in the area of engineering and construction, and always valued right from the beginning sustainability in the construction. So it was not just a construction company that was after profit, it was always after ensuring our presence wherever we are is sustainable. So the purpose of this award, as for all WFE awards, is to direct the world's attention to the role of engineering in sustainable development. This is a core value in CCC, it's a core value for WFEO, and sustainability of the environment, community, economy, and all stakeholders remains a key concern for all of us. Thank you for joining this award. Thank you for all being here with us. And thank you for giving me the chance to talk about CCC and about our convergence with this award. And congratulations again to the winners of this award. And for the participants, we thank you. And for the organizers, we also thank you for the efforts you put into this. I'll give it back to you, Seng Chuan.
All right, good. Thanks, Dori. And thanks for the introduction, the background of the award. I think that's useful. So now we are going to invite the Chief Executive of Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, Mr. Teo Eng Dee, to introduce the projects as well as what MPA is doing, right? And then later on we'll show a video about the project itself. All right. So, Mr. Teo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Seng Chuan. Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our friends, especially WFEO President Professor José, Ms. Ania, Chair of the Awards Committee and member of the WFEO Executive Council, Mr. Dori, Barakat from CCC, friends both online and in Singapore. We have with us in the room at the MPA in Singapore, Savannah Jurong's new Group CEO, Mr. Chuan, and many of our partners and friends here in this presentation. First of all, on behalf of the MPA in Singapore, thank you to WFEO and the judging panels, and that MPA and our engineering teams are very honored to receive this prestigious global award. The Tuas Port Phase 1 reclamation project has been successfully completed in November 2021. As the port operator, we are also looking at the reclamation to ensure that there's sufficient land available for the container port operator, the PSA, to develop 21 berths to gain a container handling capacity of 20 million TEUs at the Tuas Terminal Phase 1. As the world's largest transshipment port, we are handling a total of 37 billion TEUs as of last year, and when completed, Tuas Port in the 2040s will have a total capacity of 65 million TEU. The development of Tuas Terminal is passed on track to serve the global shipping community, and this marks a very good beginning of the move to consolidate all the container terminal operations from the city terminals, which hosted the very first container vessel in Asia to Tuas, and that now Tuas Port, which has been opened since last year by our Prime Minister, is now operational with 5 berths. And these 5 berths have already crossed the total handling capacity of 1 million TEUs. Some of the key features of the Tuas Port Phase 1 are energy-efficient construction equipment to reclaim Tuas Port, such as the use of Gosho, which is the largest grab dredger with energy-efficient grab, and Tamarok, which is a 3-in-1 vessel for caisson rock mount foundation construction. There was also adoption of innovative and waste circularity methods by reusing locally available dredge and excavated materials in lieu of sand for reclamation. There was also adoption of fully automated rebar bending and cutting machines integrated with a synchronized robotic arm to bend, cut, and stack rebars for caisson casting, and thus reducing the exposure to mechanical hazards by workers compared to the conventional method. And many of our judges and panels have already highlighted there was extensive consultation with environmental groups in Singapore and globally, and many of these groups had assisted with coral conservation projects in preparation for the port development. But the port is not resting on its laurels, and the Maritime and Port Authority is working on track on phase 2 and the most important phase 3 under planning. And phase 3 is not only building a port, but also the westernmost frontier of Singapore, protecting Singapore from rising sea levels and the ill impacts of climate change. We are looking at decarbonizing the construction phase of Tuas Port through the use of more solar energy panels, as well as the evaluation of construction materials with lower carbon footprint, and the use of lower emission machines, plant, and equipment. And in support of Singapore's declared national plans to reach net zero emissions by 2050 and its 2045 for government, we are studying options to transform Tuas Port with new capabilities of generating green electricity from the port through large-scale solarization and also battery storage systems within the port to address intermittency, and the initiative will build on energy resilience, reduce emissions, and further decarbonize our maritime sector. At the same time, as we have told all our engineers, we are not only building a port, we are looking at 100 to 120 years ahead when the port infrastructure will need to be refreshed, and what this means for the 10-story caissons that now form the piers for the port. And these are all significant engineering challenges which we will work creatively and innovatively with all our partners and with WFEO members. Singapore, being a small, low-lying island state, will be adversely impacted by climate change, and the threat of sea level is an existential one for us. MPA has thus developed a Maritime Singapore decarbonization blueprint to chart the pathways for the country. And in aspects of Tuas Port, the infrastructure stands to be impacted by the impacts of climate change as well. And together with whole government systems, we are looking more than 100 years ahead now on what we can do today to make a difference for tomorrow, so that even while many of us will not be around, we will paint a next future for all our future generations. And in the words of the UN SecGen, in lieu of the urgent need to address climate change, we need to do everything all at once, now, and we are thankful for WEO's contributions. And in this regard, as a member of the Alliance of Small Island States and SIDS, Small Islands Developing States, we are pleased to donate the prize money with the objective of raising climate change education, to provide curriculum and teacher training in world-class climate change education for primary and secondary schools in Mauritius and Fiji. As a chemical engineer and an engineer myself, I think the activities in engineering will become increasingly important in the coming years with the development of joint mentoring programs with the International Engineering Alliance and UNESCO, so that we can help all countries, particularly small island states, which are affected by climate change, to help national engineering programs reach a higher level of excellence. And to this end, once again, on behalf of MPA, all our partners, our engineering team, I thank the WTO, FEO, UNESCO, CCC, and all our international partners and friends for giving us this prestigious award, and also giving us an opportunity to contribute to the global community in support of the small island states. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Teo. Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations. And just for the audience, beside this WFEO Sabbagh Prize, this project also won the Institution of Engineers Singapore Award, ASEAN Outstanding Achievement Award. So a number of awards from this, and I'm sure there are many things to share in these projects, especially the engineering excellence. So we have this. The next item is a panel discussion. We'll have our panelists. Captain Muhammad Sega. He is the Assistant Chief Executive in charge of operations. And we also have Engineer Tham, the Chief Engineer and Senior Directors of Engineering and Project Management. And we also have Engineer Albert Cheng, the Director for Project and Constructions. All right, welcome to the panel. So for audience, if you have any questions, you are able to type into the chat box. So we'll pick up a question from your chat box, and we'll ask the panelists to share the challenges and the constructions of this mega port review. All right, so maybe I should ask Captain Muhammad regarding the operations, the challenges in this constructions of this one port.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hello. I think this question probably I'm more suitable to answer.
Okay.
In terms of
Engineer will answer the question.
Yeah. I think this project was actually awarded in 2015 March. Also, it was dedicated about 2021 to complete. We could have actually been completed. Hello. It could actually be completed much earlier, as not because of the COVID situation. In Singapore, there were only about very few projects that was actually allowed to complete or continue during the COVID period. And our Tuas Port Phase 1 reclamation project was one of them. So imagine the amount of the COVID measures that we have put in place to ensure the continuous flow of the activities on site. And that said, I think we have not lost a single step in the construction of this reclamation Phase 1. And in spite that, we actually completed ahead of time, taking into account of the inclement weather. Not because of NPA, not only because of NPA's control of the project, but also owing to the commitment of our partners, especially Sabbagh Jurong and also DJB, who are actually doing the job. So I think for these national projects in Singapore, apart from just completing the major milestones, I think the hardest part of it is to ensure that the welfare of the workers during the construction of these projects is well taken care of. Because at the end, during the project itself, I think while working continuously on the project, some of the workers are also infected with COVID. And it's one of the major challenges that we need to take care of the workers. As you know, that during that time, we do not have any vaccinations, right? So we really have to put in place a lot of mitigation measures that ensure that the health of the workers are well taken care. And good to hear that not only for our port workers itself, for construction workers, I think the whole of government also chipped in to help the construction of these transport projects. As a result of that, I think we actually managed to pull through. And with the grace of God, I think basically we have managed to also keep the the casualty of the victims of the Soviets very small. So, thank you.
Thank you, Vieira. I just wonder how long is the total project, because you're saying they completed the phase 1, right? So and just now Indeed mentions about you still got phase 2, phase 3. So the total durations planned for this whole project to be complete, that is how long is the durations?
We started planning of these Tuas megaports in early 20s, early 20s, right? And we started the constructions of this project in 2015. And this project, Tuas megaport, will actually be carried out in 4 phases, right? We have just completed the phase 1. The phase 2 already about 60 to 70% completed, and will be due for completion by 2028. And we are planning for phase 3. Right, and subsequently we're going for figure 1, which is phase 4. And at the end of the day, we plan to complete the whole project by 2038 or 2040s, right? Hopefully, when the port takes over or PSF operator takes over, the full port itself will be fully operational by early 2040s. At the end of the day, the total handling capacity of a Tuas port will be 65 million TEU, up to 65 million TEU.
So what is the total construction cost?
There are 2 parts of the constructions that you have to account for it. One is the reclamation cost, which is handled by MPA, which is the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore. The other part of the construction cost will be handled by our operator, right? So in total, I think we are talking about 14 to 16 billion dollars for reclamation, and about 20 over billions of the constructions of the post construction.
So could I say this is one of the largest port in the world, if completed?
Once it is completed by 2040s, Singapore will be having one of the largest container terminals at a single location.
Yeah, very good. At this point, unlike the audience, I believe we have more than 100 attendants. If you have any questions, please write in the chat box so we can ask the panelists to provide you the answer. All right. So in the meantime, I also understand that this port has a lot of intelligent technology built into the port itself. Maybe we can invite the panelists to elaborate a bit on the the intelligence aspect of the ports, and how does it different from the conventional ports?
I'll just briefly explain in a variety of ways. In most ports, you will have many truck workers going through carrying containers, and in this case, this is a fully automated port. That means on the land side, once the vessel comes in, a typical pool of a 20 to 24,000 TEU vessel, the first carry is still manual. We can operate about 30 moves per hour. And then on the land side, this is now done fully by automated guided vehicles going around. And every few hours, these vehicles that you can see in the video, they move like Lego to move the containers around. And the port workers now work in a remote control room. I know in many ports of the world, there may be concerns about port workers, whether if there will be any retrenchment because of automation. I'm glad to report that in Singapore, we don't have to do that. And in fact, all of them have higher productivity. They now work like no different from a financial analyst sometimes. You can visit our port. They look at different screens, and each worker can now control 20 of these automated guided vehicles. These automated guided vehicles, and because of this operation, We can switch off the lights on the land side at night, saving emissions and electricity as well. Full automation took us many years to get here, and we'll continue to work on it as we improve the productivity of these capabilities. At the same time, we are looking at digital solutions for smart ports, for customs clearance, for greater connectivity on the e-wheels of lading, such that on the full supply chain, before the vessel comes in, it will be fully automated, digitalized, and supports the reduction of emissions. Over time, we also hope to look at remote pilotage solutions and also digital cyber operations as well to support the port. So in a modern port, digitalization and decarbonization are key, and this will allow port workers all around the world to upskill and at the same time gain new skills to operate the port of the future. Thank you.
Thank you. So, yeah, you say the award is well deserved. Yeah, I believe it's a lot of hard work. And it's you see it's a mega project, and you take a lot of efforts. Not too sure at the peak time how many workers will be constructing at the peak periods of the construction. Yeah.
What was any point?
At the highest peak, how many workers are working in this construction site?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, can hear you.
Oh, okay. First, how many workers? Okay. At peak time, we have more than 1,000 workers because we have this Quezon casting yard. It's like a little factory on site where we have 2 rows of casting plants, and each time we will have 500 workers each shift. So there alone it's about 1,000. So and on top of that we have marine works, and where we have another few hundred working around basin and the fairway, and that's where we take in all the fresh material, excavated materials, and we actually recycle them and use that as reclamation field.
Very good, thank you. So now we have a question here. What he say is, my question is about vertical drain install. What depth were they installed to, and also how many in total length are to be installed across the reclamations? Anybody can take these questions?
Okay, for the whole site, altogether is all 414 hectares, 441 hectares, and after we reclaim the land, as you know, the material will be very soft. So we will actually carry out, once we kept the land, reclaimed the land, we will install vertical drains. I do not have the numbers here, but we are actually placing the vertical drains at a spacing of about 1.5 meters. And we'll go down all the way to termination depth of about SPT 30. So that is actually about 30 meters on the average. And we will do all this. After we complete the vertical drains, then we will, of course, surcharge to expedite the consolidation of the soil until to be able to meet the residual settlement and be suitable for port use.
Thank you. Okay, so the next question I have is, what are the material used for the infilling?
The material used for infilling.
Okay. You want to answer? You want to?
Infilling.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, what are the materials used for the infilling? I think for the special project in Tuas Port, we don't just use sand, right? We have been using some of the dredge materials that we have excavated from the fairways, right? And then we don't dump it into anywhere else, but we reuse, we recycle it. right? We actually reclaim it and fill it up to a Tuas Port. So we actually what you call adopt the circularity method. Right. Apart from just the fresh material, we also work with with our sister agencies to ensure that some of the excavated materials from other projects we brought to our site, right, to also use as the infill material. So in total, I think for this project itself, we are using less than 30% of them is sand, and 70% of that is actually trash and waste material.
All right. So thank you very well. And
Yeah,
maybe
just to
I'll
explain a little
ask.
bit further, I think the draft of the berth that we have is very deep. It's one of the deepest in Singapore. It's about minus 23 meters, right? That we have. Okay, so we are talking about so this natural depth of the berth that we have, minus 23 meter, can actually berth the largest vessels in the world, right? Container vessels. So wherever you can find right now in the world, we have about these container vessels can hold about 24,000 TEUs. They can always come to our port and berth conveniently. And our port has also been designed with what we call maximum tidal flushing. That means to say that the port itself, we anticipate that we do not hope that they can be. We do not need to have any maintenance at all for the next 30 years.
Thank you. I hope that answer the question. Maybe for my own interest, I'd like to also ask a question. In terms of, because this is a large reclamation project, right? So in terms of environment aspect, I'm sure MPA has done the environmental study, and what are the challenges you face when you do these reclamations in terms of probably a biodiversity aspect or environmental aspect?
I think in any environmental aspects in Singapore, EIAs are done. These are environmental impact assessments. These are now mandated by law for all key projects all around Singapore, and we have a long history of incorporating sustainability on this. For these projects, not only are consultants involved, the whole process also have a mandatory phase of consultations with members of the public, with our nature groups, and these were all involved in the entire process. And we also use this as a good opportunity to work with nature environmental groups to participate and see what are some of the contributions and participations. So we are glad that many of the nature groups join us in relocating many of the corals to an offshore island. And at the same time, we monitor the various sediments areas where construction is being done, so that at no point in time will there be impact to the surrounding fish farms or to tidal flows. And we also ensure that the safety of navigation in the very important straits of Singapore and Malacca is always adhered to. So environmental impact assessments are key, and we take this extremely seriously in Singapore, so that we work with the international community to ensure that this is always done well. And we often look upon all our friends from overseas as well to work with us on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. I think we are coming near to the end of the these sessions. I'd like to thank the panelists, Inti, the Chief Executive, and the Assistant Chief Executive, Sega, Senior Director, Vieira, and Albert, for sharing with the participants all these informations. And also like to say, if the participants are interested, we already sent a YouTube link. You can see the video, or you can reach out to MPA for further information. I'm sure this is a very challenging technical engineering excellent projects. I also like to thank the José, Vieira, my colleagues, the presidents of WFEO, Ania, as well as Dori, our sponsor, for to help us to make sure that these events are successfully conducted. And last but not least, I'd like to congratulate against MPA for awarding this Sabbagh Prize for Excellence in Engineering Construction 2023. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll end the sessions. Thank you.